My name is Arif, and I'm the strategy lead for development at Benchling. Now, back in September, we announced Benchling Bioprocess, which is an end-to-end software solution for process development. We're excited to share that this product is now generally available. I want to briefly recap what we heard from many of you that inspired the development of this product. The landscape for software today is fragmented. There really isn't one end-to-end solution available, and process development teams find themselves having to operate across multiple software tools, such as an ELN, a LIMS, an LES, as well as custom applications. The downside of this is it creates a frustrating user experience and keeps data in silos that are difficult to retrieve. So we actually surveyed scientists to understand their pain points, and 3 things stood out to us. The first is about 23% of their time is spent collecting and structuring data to be used for analysis. The second is that 19% of their time is spent assembling data for tech transfer. And the third is that 87% of scientists cite data errors as a concern. We've designed Benchling Bioprocess to solve these challenges, bringing the end-to-end work from designing to execution to analysis in one platform. With Bioprocess, data can be automatically captured from instruments, and process parameters online and offline data can all be seamlessly combined. Plus, it's built on ISA 88 data standards, which makes tech transfer significantly easier. Now that the product is generally available, we've heard some great feedback. Some of the things our customers have mentioned are around the product being intuitive and easy to use, balancing structure with flexibility. The fact that the product supports various teams, including downstream teams, upstream teams, and various modalities. And thirdly, that it really links data from across the organization. So I'm now going to hand it over to Dane, who is going to give you a live action view of the product.
Thanks, Arif. My name is Dane Pieri, and I'm a product manager and the solution owner for Bioprocess. I've been working with Benchling's process development customers for a while now, and I'm really happy to show you all a demo today now that it's generally available. I'll walk through the key steps of process development, from designing a recipe to experimental planning and execution, and on through analysis. Recipes are the core new concept backing bioprocess. Any bioprocess can now be represented as a recipe in Benchling. A recipe is a comprehensive description of the process with an ordered sequence of unit operations and all the associated material inputs, outputs, equipment, and parameters. This recipe here is fairly detailed, but it's important to note that a recipe can be as detailed or as simple as you want it to be. While recipes are a new concept in bioprocess, they coexist with and reference objects that you already have in Benchling. So material inputs and equipment in a recipe can reference entities. For example, the cell line input for a recipe can point to an existing entity in the registry. And material outputs from a recipe are all entities in the registry. Within the batch record itself, you can make use of registration tables, inventory tables, results tables, etc. All of the things that you can do inside of a notebook entry, you can also do inside a recipe. We've built the recipe designer to be user-friendly for process development scientists to create and evolve their own recipes without admin support. Here I can make parameter changes. I can add additional unit operations. I can define the flow of material inputs and outputs, all within a point-and-click interface. You can also duplicate recipes so they don't have to be created from scratch each time. Now I'm going to design an experiment using this recipe. To do this, I create a new process development study. Anytime you want to execute a recipe, you create a study, and this is true for a single condition production run or a multi-condition screening experiment. But instead of having to draft this in a spreadsheet, we can now do this right within Bioprocess. So here I'm designing an 8-condition experiment, which means I'm designing 8 variants of this base recipe. You can think of the original recipe as a template. However I pick the values, I represent them here in Benchling. And you can change as many or as few parameters as you want. but the value for all parameters, not just the ones that you varied, are tracked and forever associated with the batch. When I hit proceed to execution, Bioprocess automatically creates 8 variants of that recipe per the experiment design. Bioprocess is also automatically generating workflow schemas and tasks to track the operational execution of the experiment. This is all done automatically, so no workflows configuration is required. So now we're looking at the interface to execute the experiment that I just designed. All of these execution objects live in projects and folders, and their execution is tracked by workflow tasks. By this point, there are likely to be multiple scientists and operators involved, and this interface helps everyone collaborate with full visibility throughout the runs. Because this recipe is broken up into smaller steps, different people can work on different steps in the same batch record. Online and at-line data is captured at each step. We can use pre-built instrument connectors to automatically place this data in context of the experiment, and we can also add data through direct input or upload. Samples can be sent to analytical teams for offline analysis. Those test results are associated with those samples and with the overall batch and experiment context. Bioprocess makes it easy to find and analyze data by first centralizing data on a common platform, and second, ensuring the data is structured and contextualized. This is important because when we spoke to PD scientists, they said they spend as much as 35% of their time searching for data, compiling it, and putting it into reports. Here, we are in the analysis interface of Bioprocess, where we can see the structured data sets from the study we just ran. I can look at all 8 conditions side by side to assess key performance metrics, such as titer over time. In this case, it looks like condition 6 has performed the best, but I may want to review online data for that run, or the at-line data. And I can view important measurements of things such as glucose, calcium, and cell density in a variety of ways, but always with the full experimental context. And this data can help inform the next round of iteration. These analysis tools are all available within Bioprocess, but many of our customers also take advantage of a full set of APIs in the product to move this structured information into their data lakes and AI pipelines. As Arif mentioned, we're excited to share that Benchling Bioprocess is now generally available. Bioprocess is built on top of the Benchling platform, so process development users can collaborate with research teams around data and workflows. We will continue to invest in Bioprocess and have an exciting roadmap of enhancements planned for the product. If this sounds like something that would help your process development organization, we'd love to hear from you and provide a product demonstration.